So, guys, Manchester United return with Premier League action on Sunday evening on match day 6 of the 24-25 Premier League season at home to Anne Postecoglou's Tottenham at Old Trafford on Sunday evening. Where could this be Eric Ten Hag's last chance to give Manchester United any potential win or any potential result at the weekend, with Manchester United now in desperate need of points and a desperate return of urgency at the football club, where Manchester United have gone 2 games in a row with 2 points from 6, only 1 goal scored in our last 2 games. Tottenham have matched Manchester United so far at the start of the Premier League season with only 7 points from 15. So Manchester United and Tottenham are both currently level at the start of this Premier League season, with, again, both clubs and both managers are desperately seeking results for them to both keep their jobs, of Tottenham and Manchester United respectively. And both clubs need the points, both teams need the result, and both teams can't afford not to win this game this weekend. Well, I think for Tottenham Hotspur's sake, obviously they are in Europa League action tonight against Azerbaijan champions Karabag at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, which again, you were expecting Tottenham to kind of win that game. But I think, maybe second season syndrome is starting to hit Tottenham without the prolific Harry Kane. I think Tottenham have really, really struggled this season, and some of their results have been quite questionable at times. And I think the tactical approach from Postecoglou has kind of already been figured out from a rival perspective. And I think, to be honest with you, I think if Tottenham fail to win this game this weekend, and I think Postecoglou might be gone by the beginning of next week, where I think, Manchester United at the moment, and especially after yesterday, I think for me, if Eric Ten Hag fails to get a win this weekend and fails to get United any kind of positive result, then for me, Eric Ten Hag has got to be sacked. I don't think there's any coming back from it. I think we've got to be realistic now. We've not improved. We really haven't improved. I think yesterday spoke wonders of where Manchester United are realistically at the moment. We're just nowhere near, and it's obviously very, very disappointing. In season 3, we haven't progressed as a football club. We haven't got any better on the pitch, and off the pitch, things are slightly improving, but on the pitch, the results aren't getting any better. And I still don't recognise this current Manchester United side. I'm really, really struggling to find any positivity or any confidence that those players are really up for this season. I look at the squad, it just looks completely disconnected. You look at the teamwork and the combination play between certain players, and you see the arrogance and the cockiness of Manchester United players being bigger than the football club again. And that's not what I want. That's not what I want from this football club. I want to see us win trophies. I want to see us win silverware, and I want to see us compete. But I think Man United have just taken their foot off the gas again after 2 positive results against Barnsley and Southampton. And probably Man United have probably taken these games a lot more cocky than what they should have done, and they've probably paid the opposition way too much respect, and on the opposition have simply outplayed us. They have a better tactical approach, they have a better setup, and quite frankly, they're playing better football. And I still don't know what Eric Ten Hag's trying to do. I think he looks out of ideas, he looks clueless. I think his tactical approach in the last 2 matches has been very, very questionable. And I think the substitutions as well. I don't get why all of a sudden we are making substitutions on the 75th minute again. Like, that was happening under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, that we were making stupid subs at the start of the second half that were making no impact. And we are waiting until the latter stages of the game to make subs where the game's gone, the result's gone, and you're expecting the substitutions to work absolute wonders for you. And it's not going to happen. Like, it really, really isn't happening for Eric Ten Hag again. And again, there's a lot of positive coming from Manchester United saying that, oh, well, we are creating chances, we're playing some good football, we're battering the opposition. From the last 2 games, we're not playing better football, we're not battering the opposition, and I don't think we've improved. So all those journalists on X, on Twitter, whatever you want to call it, stop protecting them and call it out for what it is. We're not improving, we're not scoring enough goals, and we're not beating the opposition, which is in front of us. And if you want to carry on with that momentum and that, ego of we are improving, it's going to take time, then get on that train, get on that bandwagon, get on that parade. I mean, it's not going to shine away from what I'm seeing from my point of view that we aren't improving as a football club. We have got worse over the last two games. One goal in the last two games is completely and utterly unacceptable. And I'm seeing fans and certain sections of this Manchester United fan base protecting these players. If they're not good enough, can you not just call it for what it is? If they're playing shit, why can't the fans just admit it? Why can't fans call it out for what it is? Are they too scared? Are they too naive? Or can't they be bothered to call the truth? Because if you had Roy Keane watching those last two Man United games, he would have gone in massively on them. He would have given them an absolute rocket. Players are getting picked clearly due to favouritism at this football club. And that is why we are seeing the likes of Marcus Rashford, Diego Dalot, Harry Maguire, Christian Eriksen, Bruno Fernandes. I mean, the list goes on of how many players that Erik ten Hag has got no balls to drop, no balls to change the system, no balls to change the tactical approach, and no urgency to drop players that are not putting in the effort or are not putting in the time to get Manchester United playing good football. And especially yesterday, which I hope we don't see on Sunday, because we need to win. We need these 3 points. I think Manchester United go into this weekend as favourites. I really, really do think that, because I think Tottenham this season are really, really struggling. And I say that because I think it's second season syndrome under Postecoglou. Obviously, he was a big, big impact on Tottenham last season. No one expected him to get that Tottenham job. There were so many managers linked to that post. So many managers fell by the wayside and didn't get the manager's job. And Postecoglou was really a stab in the dark, in my view. It's not a manager that a club like Tottenham, I thought, would go for. They want a manager who's going to play good, attacking, free-flowing football and get results consistently on a winning basis. And that simply hasn't been the case in season 2 for Postecoglou at Tottenham. And I think the pure fact is Tottenham are not scoring goals. The same problem Manchester United are facing. Neither team are scoring enough goals in their matches respectively. And this is why both sides are struggling to pick up points. And this is why both sides are struggling to get up that league table. Because when you don't score goals and you do not take your chances, you are going to fall down that table bit by bit with a lack of results and a lack of points that you aren't picking up. And I think the reason Tottenham are struggling, they are struggling without Harry Kane now. It's quite easy to say in season 1, it was all right. They got by with what they had. They got by with what they got. But I think in season 2, when you haven't got that prolific striker in Harry Kane anymore, who are you expecting to score the goals? Because you've paid 65 million for Dominic Solanke and has scored 1 goal in 7 games. Heung-min Son is by far your best player who creates your best attacking options and chances on the opposition goal. And your best midfielder comes through James Maddison. And obviously Maddison's probably not had his best season for Tottenham so far. I mean, I really rate him. I love James Maddison. I wish Manchester United had the opportunity to get him again when they had the chance. But we went for Mason Mount and spent 60 million on him. Obviously, that has been a massive, massive mistake from Manchester United, especially where Mason Mount has only featured in the last 15 minutes against FC20 yesterday and didn't feature against Crystal Palace the weekend before. So Manchester United really could have got James Maddison and another midfielder for the combined price that Manchester United paid for Mason Mount. I'm not expecting Mason Mount to start on Sunday. I'm not expecting Mason Mount to even start the game. I'm expecting Mason Mount to be an option off the bench again when the going gets tough in the latter stages of the game. And that's all the idea and the organisation and the recognition I get from that club at the moment. We are making stupid subs in stupid moments of the game where we need to freshen things up, and Ten Hag has clearly got no tactical approach or any clear idea how to get Manchester United on the attacking foot. I saw that in the last 2 games. We've got no goal scoring striker, we've got midfield favouritism, and we've got a back four whose identity goes out the window soon as you have Harry Maguire back in that team and Diego Dalot, who is not a left back. Why Manchester United are carrying on with that selection and why players are getting into this team, because there's favouritism again at this football club. And it clearly shows a lot of these players have got power over the manager. A lot of these players have got too much control again. I thought that was brought to a stop. I thought that was brought to a halt. But clearly, these players are getting in this team because they are the face for the football club, and Ten Hag has got no choice but to pick these players. But Ten Hag needs to grow a pair and start making the tactical changes and subbing off certain individuals who are not showing up to the party. Bruno Fernandes hasn't been performing. Yesterday, when we are trying to desperately win that game, we have a late free kick and he decides to shoot. That was quite frankly fucking unbelievable. Why Bruno Fernandes went for goal with the position and how far out he was, why he decided to go and have a shot in that latter stages of the game is an absolute disgrace. As a captain, as a leader, it now has to be called out for what it is. Bruno Fernandes needs to be dropped or he needs to be subbed. That would be a massive, massive statement to sub off your captain and your apparent leader. But if he's not performing, he has to be dropped or he has to be subbed. But clearly, I think Bruno Fernandes has got one over Ten Hag. I think Eric Ten Hag is scared of him. I think Eric Ten Hag is frightened of Bruno. And I think if Bruno Fernandes gets subbed or he gets dropped, he's going to absolutely flip his lid in the dressing room and he's going to go in on Ten Hag. And I think Ten Hag is too scared of Bruno. He's too afraid to step up to him. He's too afraid to approach him. He's too scared to call him out when he's not performing, because Bruno Fernandes has got that control. He's got that player power. And again, I know he's been given this bumper new contract, but Bruno Fernandes is 30 years of age now. Bruno Fernandes is 30 years of age. Why all of a sudden has he been given this bumper new contract on nearly £300,000 a week and he's not been performing in your last 2 games and the midfield is getting run through? That is because Bruno Fernandes is clearly knackered or clearly is getting frustrated, not with his own performance, but he's getting frustrated with his lack of players around him performance. And again, I'm not blaming Bruno Fernandes for the other players around him for not stepping up. I'm not blaming him. They should be stepping up. They are a part of the problem as well as Bruno Fernandes. But when you see that your captain shooting like that to try and win the game yesterday, that ball should have gone into the box. That ball should have been put in to try and at least get a header or a shot on goal to win that game. And he decides to shoot. That is piss poor captaincy. That is piss poor leadership from a player that apparently has got it all in the package. I'm sorry to say, if Bruno needs to be dropped, you're going to have to drop him. But I don't think Ten Hag will do it. Bruno Fernandes will clearly start on Sunday. I don't think Ten Hag's got any intention of dropping him. I don't think Ten Hag wants to drop him. I think Ten Hag knows, if I haven't got that leader and I haven't got that captain in my team, this team's at 6s and 7s. It's because the rest of those players aren't leaders. The rest of those players aren't got any leadership skills. And probably Ten Hag only trusts Bruno to be his captain. He doesn't trust these other useless brats. He does not trust them. And you can see why he doesn't trust them. You can see why. Because he knows they haven't got the pedigree. They haven't got the dedication. They haven't got the commitment. They haven't got the skills to lead a team. They haven't got that captain's role to motivate the players. And Bruno Fernandes is the only one that's doing it. And again, I've not seen that captain. I've not seen that leader. But it needs to be called now. Bruno Fernandes, if it was me, I would be changing this midfield up massively on Sunday and making a big fucking statement. You drop Bruno, you bring Kobe Mainoo back in, you drop Eriksen, you start Agate, Mount, and Mainoo. That is what I would do with that midfield. Change it up massively and make a statement saying we are not going to piss about anymore. Let's get results, let's get a win, and let's get these 3 points. Because if results go against us, and again, we can't rely on other teams around us to get us results for us, we need to win ourselves. We need to play good football. We need to show up. We need to turn up, and we need to show that we are ready to go ahead against Tottenham Sunday and get this result. Because failure to win, I think Ten Hag needs to be sacked. But again, is that the correct thing to do? I'm not sure. I want to back this manager and I want it to work out and I want him to be successful. But when I have seen a lack of tactical changes or a lack of tactical approach or any of the football that Ten Hag is trying to integrate into the first team, it's getting purely frustrating again. Because I don't want this every fucking season. I don't want this every game. I don't want to see a shit United performance every single match because it is boring me to death. It is so fucking boring. So Ten Hag, grow some balls and change it, because otherwise you're going to get yourself the sack and we are going to be on manager number 7 in 12 fucking years. That is the reality, and we have to face that now. That is the reality of the mess that Manchester United have got themselves in again. And to be honest with you, it is really starting to frustrate me. It's really starting to bore me. And it's really starting to get to a point where I'm giving it this season now. I think failure to get top 4, failure to win a trophy, whenever, and failure to win any silverware, I think he's done. I think Manchester United will sack Ten Hag. And they'll probably go really weak-minded and give it to Ruud van Nistelrooy till the end of the season. I don't want that. I don't want that. I would rather have a brand new permanent manager in again to take this club to the next level. Because I think Ten Hag is starting to lose his patience. I think Ineos are starting to lose their patience. And I'll tell you what, if I was Ineos this morning or this afternoon, I'd have Ten Hag in my office saying, what the fuck is going on? We've gone 2 games, 1 goal, 2 points from 6. What the fuck is going on? Why aren't we scoring goals? Why aren't we playing good football? Why aren't we battering the opposition? It's again because there's clear favourites in that United dressing room who are getting themselves in that starting lineup, and I'm frustrated by it. I'm really frustrated. And do you know what? If I was the manager right now, I wouldn't be starting Rashford on Sunday. I wouldn't be starting Bruno Fernandes. I wouldn't be starting Eriksen. I wouldn't be starting Dalot. I wouldn't be starting Maguire because they're utterly fucking useless. At the moment, the whole game plan and the whole approach to Manchester United and the way we play goes out the window when those 5 fucking individuals are in this team. Whenever those 5 start a game for us, our game plan and our good football goes out the window. Why Ten Hag decided to change things up last night still makes no sense. It absolutely confuses me. Why freshen things up when we look solid with De Ligt and Martinez at the back? All of a sudden, you have this pivot with Mainu that he's absolutely fallen in love with, which clearly doesn't work. And again, people are still saying, well, Eriksen scored a good goal yesterday. I don't really care. The pivot of him at CDM, it does not work. And then you switch them into the centre attacking midfield position, and he can't do it. He can't do it long term. But all this love for this pivot, it don't work. And people need to wake up and smell the fucking coffee because it doesn't work. The midfield looks completely imbalanced when you don't have Mainu in that midfield. And because Eriksen can't do it for so many minutes, Agati then struggles. And then it affects Bruno Fernandes. And I know Eriksen is one of my favourite players, and I get that. And I understand where I'm coming from. But if I'm logically looking at that midfield thinking, this midfield ain't working, this pivot is not working anymore, I've got to change it. He's got to change it. Why he can't start Bruno, Mainu and Agati together, I don't know why he won't do it. And I see a lot of United fans already are jumping in on Agati. It's not his fault that midfield is shit. He played great against Palace. He played great against Southampton. He played great against Barnsley, and he did really, really well yesterday. And people are jumping on him just because he made a few inconsistent passes here and there. Well, If he would have started against Southampton and if he would have started against Palace, we might have seen the Agate that we would have wanted. We haven't seen that because Ten Hag has got no balls to start him. 60 million has basically gone down the drain because Ten Hag is in love with Eriksen and this pivot he has with Mainu. And he don't want to change it. He doesn't want to change it. We signed Agate to take this midfield up to the next level, and certain sections of this fan base are going in on him. It's not his fault. He made a few bad passes yesterday. If Eriksen did his job and Bruno Fernandes did his job, Agate's job would be a lot fucking easier. But because other players are letting the side down, Agate is getting affected. Agate is the best midfielder we've got in this team by an absolute fucking mile. He's the best midfielder we have. Best midfielder this team currently has at this moment in time. Because yesterday, it spoke wonders of Erik ten Hag's naivety not to start Mainu. Why he didn't start Mainu yesterday is amazing. It really, really baffles me. He's been our best midfielder last season. And all of a sudden, since McTominay's gone, since Hannibal Mabry's fucked off, Casemiro can't get in this team. Eriksen isn't good enough. Mount isn't good enough. But all of a sudden, you think Mainu isn't good enough to start ahead of Eriksen anymore. I mean, what is that all about? Can someone just quote me why that didn't happen yesterday? Why that didn't happen was, again, on Erik ten Hag. Oh, I've got to freshen things up. We've got so many games ahead of us. Do you know what? I don't actually care. I really do not give a flying fuck if there's so many games ahead, if our schedule's packed. I don't care. Stop coming up with an excuse to not win this game because we have to freshen the team up. We have to rotate. And I see a load of other United fan channels saying, well, we have to freshen things up. We have to rotate. We've got loads of game. But again, you're jumping on the excuse bandwagon of Erik ten Hag, basically saying, well, he's got to rotate. He's got to change the team. I completely disagree. You do not change a winning team. You don't change the midfield, which looks completely imbalanced without Mainu. You don't change the back four because the balance without De Ligt is a nightmare. Both of them have to start Sunday. Like, we have these players brought for a reason. We have these players come through the academy for a reason. Because Mainu's a world-class midfielder. De Ligt is one of the best centre-backs in world football. And all of a sudden, as soon as those two don't start, look how imbalanced the team looks. And again, that didn't help yesterday. And that has to be solved on Sunday. They both have to start. Because without those two, our style of play is unrecognisable. The balance looks all over the shop. Like, you don't change what works. You keep with that. You keep with the consistency and not change it. You don't put Maguire in for De Ligt. And again, Paul Scholes' comments really infuriate me. Apparently, De Ligt is no better than Harry Maguire. I mean, I don't know what Paul Scholes' agenda is, but grow up and fucking open your eyes. You think Maguire is better than De Ligt? Look what happened yesterday. As soon as you put Maguire in that team, Martinez shits himself. As soon as Maguire gets put in that team, it makes Delo worse. I'm sorry. Get real. De Ligt was brought here for a reason and Harry Maguire is still starting over him. We are trying to shift Maguire out next summer and we're trying to shift Lindelof. But yet both of them are still getting ahead of De Ligt, which makes no sense. And I think Ten Hag needs to stop rotating his team. You start De Ligt and Martinez together every fucking game. You don't rotate. You don't change it. You keep that structure and balance solid. You don't change what works. You stick with it. You don't say, oh, do you know what? It might be good to give Maguire a run out. No, you don't. You keep him on the bench where Harry Maguire belongs. Because that back four was shocking yesterday. Absolute shocking. And if Ten Hag goes with that same back four on Sunday, United are going to concede goals. Because again, if you look at that back four, again, a lot of people are saying today, where's the fucking left back? Where's the fucking left back? And a lot of people are now seeing it. And we are finally woken up from the coma. We are finally woken up from it. Where's the fucking left back? Because it's an absolute disgrace that Manchester United neglected that position and didn't sign a left back. We could have done with a left back last night. We could have done with a left back against Palace. The same for Brighton, the same for Liverpool, the same for Fulham and Southampton and Barnsley. We needed a fucking left back. And again, that is affecting us going forward. Because when you had a fit Luke Shaw and a great Marcus Rashford in season 1 under Ten Hag, you look at the integration and the play those two were making happen and getting the ball more forward and getting more crosses into the opposition's penalty area. That has gone out the window now. Because what I noticed yesterday from Diego Dalot, he's now slotting into the midfield when he's meant to be at left back and leaving that left back position completely free with a shitload of space. Why Dalot is all of a sudden slotting himself into the Manchester United midfield is absolutely naive. You are meant to be at left back. Stay at fucking left back. You are at left back for a reason, because we haven't fucking got one. And again, a setback for the weekend. Luke Shaw is not going to be fit to at least the end of October or the beginning of November. Well done, Manchester United, for realising we should have signed a left back now. Yeah, you should have, because Dalot isn't good enough. And if he starts going into that midfield and pushes himself into that midfield even more, the amount of space you are going to leave the opposition attackers attacking that left back position. If Dalot's not there, could you imagine the amount of crosses and the amount of width and the amount of danger and the amount of dangerous bits of play that left back position is going to cause, because there's no left back there? Why we didn't sign Reguilon and bring him back is stupid. Oh, we don't want a short-term option again. Well, here we go again then. So what do you want to happen? What do you want? Do you want no left back all fucking season long, right? And then we fuck up on the pitch? Or do you want a left back that can integrate with the left winger, gets both players moving forward up the pitch a bit more, creates us more attacking opportunities, gets more dangerous crosses into the opposition penalty area? Or do you want Diego Dalot there all season? Because I tell you now, what happens if Dalot picks up an injury Sunday? Oh shit, we've now got no left back at all. Well done, Sherlock. Like, you needed to sign a left back. You should have brought Reguilon in. I don't care. You could have got Reguilon for cheap. No, we're not doing that. No, not doing that. No short-term options anymore. We don't want Reguilon. They could have got Reguilon for about 3 or 4 million. It makes you wonder, and it makes you just question, what the hell was the plan not signing a left back? Oh, we don't have the money. Financial fair play and sell to buy again. The biggest load of bollocks again that United keep on using as an excuse. The left back was a priority position and they didn't do it. And look what's happening now. Okay, I'm home, mate, now. So when you're done, send me, I'll come on with you. Yeah, that's fine. I'm nearly finished. Give me about 15, 60 minutes and I'll be with you. But yeah, massive shout out to Josh, by the way, in the live chat. Absolute legend to me. Great friend and great Fortnite player and great EA player. So yeah, like, the left back position is a major problem, and United aren't sorting it. And it really, really angers me, because the left back position is now becoming a massive problem. They should have signed a left back. We should have brought Reguilon back. That's what we should have done. Even on loan, I would have brought Reguilon home, because he was better than Luke Shaw. He was better than Malasir, and he was the best left back I've seen this club have since the days of Evra. And I'm not trying to hype that up, but that was the best left back I've seen this club have since the days of Patrice Evra. We don't want to bring him back. We'll wait for Luke Shaw and Malasir. I'll tell you what, if we see any more injury problems with those two, United are going to have to go into January and spend some money on this squad. Go and get us a fucking left back, because we are going to need one. So yeah, that didn't help yesterday, and I hope that doesn't cause a problem on Sunday. I really hope it doesn't. But I think it will, because if you get Kulusevski against Dalot, you know who's going to win that battle. And if Diego Dalot keeps moving and integrating himself into that midfield, that left back space is going to be free, with a shitload of space for Kulusevski to run down that wing and put so many dangerous crosses and balls into that United penalty area. And it will cause problems for our back four because the left back position is getting left all the time. And it showed yesterday. It showed yesterday, especially the FC20 equaliser. Look at the space. Look at the free shot on goal. That was because of Delo, because he's nowhere near his position. And that is unacceptable. So I think that needs to change. And I think as for the attack, well, what attack have we got? Because I don't understand the Ahmad substitution. Ahmad, again, is going to have to start on Sunday because we've got no right winger. I think Xerxes got to be dropped. And I think Rashford's the same. I can't believe we are in exactly the same position we were in last season and the season before. We had no goal-scoring striker. We had no striker. We're not scoring goals. Xerxes has gone 6 games now without a goal. Rashford has gone back to being the same inconsistent, useless prat again. And I'm not trying to create an agenda against Marcus Rashford. I'm really not. But let's be honest. Let's be real now. We need to start waking up. Like, Rashford yesterday was lazy, arrogant, up himself again, lazy, lethargic, useless, flopped his arms about like a fucking penguin. I mean, I'm absolutely sick to death of him. Like, I think Ten Hag needs to realise this as well. I think we are better without Marcus Rashford in that team. We are better without him in the starting lineup because we create a shitload more chances when you start a hungry and talented world-class winger in Garnacho. And Garnacho did have a massive impact in that second half. The amount of aggression and the amount of performance and the amount of runs and width and creation on that left wing that we saw from Delo, this is what Rashford can't do. This is what I've been saying about Rashford for so many fucking years. He can't do it. And Ten Hag still carries on with it. Ten Hag wants to keep sticking with it. Ten Hag won't drop Rashford. If he can drop him against Palace, he should have dropped him yesterday. Why Rashford was brought back in yesterday makes no sense. He threw his toys out the pram on Saturday against Palace, and all of a sudden, oh, we want to bring him back in now. He's learnt his lesson. There was more to that than meets the eye. And the problem is, certain fan channels are now protecting Rashford again. I'm not going to sit here and protect a lazy, arrogant player who was right up himself. I'm sorry, I'm not going to do it. Garnacho is the future for that left wing, but he still wants to use Rashford. Rashford is done. He should have been sold. He should have been got rid of, and Ten Hag is still sticking with him. And I'm tired of it. I'm absolutely tired of it. And if they would have saw that equaliser yesterday when Rashford couldn't be bothered to track back and just jogged and walked back to see FC20 score the equaliser, that is what you get with a player that Marcus Rashford is not doing. He's lazy. He doesn't want to defend. He doesn't want to track back. He doesn't want to win the ball. He's expecting every other player in that team to do his job for him. I'm sorry to say the days of Marcus Rashford at this football club are over. Get fucking rid. And I don't want to see him start ever again because he is lazy. He's got a bad attitude. His attitude stinks of it stinks. It absolutely stinks. It really, really stinks. It's like a bad fart. When that fart is so smelly, it knocks you out. It really, really is disgusting the way Marcus Rashford is taking this club for a ride. His attitude from Saturday makes you want to throw up. That equaliser yesterday where he basically gave up and let that FC20 player carry on with his run, that stinks. That is what you get with Marcus Rashford. His body language, his ego. I'm done with him. I'm absolutely done. And if I was Ten Hag, get Garnacho back in and fucking make a statement with Marcus Rashford and say, you're never playing for this club again. Because what you did yesterday, you showed yourself up and you did it so fucking horrifically. That was unacceptable yesterday. I'm fuming with him. How Marcus Rashford decided I'm not going to bother anymore. I'm not going to do the tracking back. I'm not going to do the defending. I'm going to let all these other prats in front of me do it for me. Because all I want to do is get the ball, turn into prime Ronaldo, do a few tricks, do a few flicks here and there. No, you're not Ronaldo. You're never going to be Ronaldo. And you were never better than Ronaldo. And you shouldn't be at this fucking football club. I'm sorry, you shouldn't. You shouldn't be here. If he gets an offer from Saudi or PSG in the future, please can we just accept it and get rid of that dead wood? Because Ten Hag needs to realise it himself. You need to go with Garnacho, you need to go with Højlund, and you need to go with Ahmad. If we're not scoring goals, then why did you not start Højlund yesterday? That was a naive decision. That was massively, massively naive. Why didn't you start Rasmus? We are desperately lacking goals. We're not scoring any goals. And you've carried on with Xerxes, who has gone 6 games without a goal. And you see certain sections on Twitter protecting him. What a brilliant signing that was from Bologna. What a brilliant signing that turned out to be. And I'm being sarcastic, by the way. That was an embarrassing signing. That was shocking how we decided to go with another Serie A striker who can't score goals. And he can't. He ain't finding the back of the net consistently. I thought that we were meant to be solving that goal-scoring problem, but we've still got it again. You might as well get back on the phone to Martial and bring him back, because at least he was scoring goals. But again, as soon as he picked up an injury, he was out for the rest of the season. We never saw him play for United again in his last season at this football club. I think Xerxes is going to go the same way. I think Xerxes is going to turn out another Anthony Martial 2.0. He ain't going to score. He ain't going to score the goals we need. I think the Xerxes hype train is gone. We were all excited when we signed him, including myself, and I hold my hands up. But yesterday showed he can't do it. And I wouldn't start him Sunday. I really, really wouldn't. I would say a statement saying you've got to start improving your goal scoring rate. But we're not getting him the ball. It's because we've got wingers who are too selfish. There's a lack of servers again. And I'm not saying that's Ahmad's fault. I'm not saying that that's Garnacho's fault. It's because no one's making any movement inside the penalty area. No one's making any type of, creative movement to try and get the opposition players off them. They're just standing there like statues, like they're stuck in the mud, back in the school playground, back in the day when you used to play that at playtime or your break time. Like, they're just standing there like statues. And that is why our wingers don't want to put the ball into the box. It's because our strikers are lazy. Again, a lazy attitude becomes a lazy mentality. They don't want to put the effort. But if I was Ten Hag, you need to realise this. You need to realise now this is the time to bring Rasmus back. And now this is the time to bring back in Garnacho. Rashford isn't going to do the job for you on Sunday. It showed that yesterday. It stunk. It really, really stunk. And if I was Xerxes, I would start finding yourself another club, because your United career is not going to last very long. And I'm not trying to create an agenda, but I want to see consistency. I want to see good football. I want to see good results. I want to see us score goals. But when you've got no goals from Xerxes in 6, no goals from Rashford in 2, Garnacho shouldn't be on the bench with the talent he has got. And don't give me, we had to rotate, we had to freshen up. Do not give me that. You can't keep rotating all the time. You can't keep freshening the team up, because it's not working, Eric. And you're getting yourself the sack if this carries on. You want to keep using Rashford, and you want to keep using Xerxes and Bruno and Ericsson and Delo and Maguire. Be my guest. But I'm still going to stick by my statement now. Eric Ten Hag will be sacked by Christmas, and I'm still going to stick by it. This is a huge, huge 3-pointer on Sunday, and we have to beat Tottenham. But I just feel the quality they've got to ours is night and day. I mean, you've got Brennan Johnson, Song, Kulusevski, Maddison, Solanke, Timo Werner, Bentancur, Vicario, Van der Veen, Romero. I mean, you look at Spurs' options and you look at ours. Spurs are night and day to where we are. Spurs are absolutely night and day. And again, they've not had their best Premier League season so far. 7 points from 15 isn't exactly great, is it? So Man United and Spurs are both in the same pattern of we're not getting results, we're not winning games, we're not scoring goals, and we're basically getting by again, which they are. Both clubs are trying to get by with what they got. Well, it shows how both summer transfer windows were both shit, because United didn't have a good summer transfer window, and nor did Spurs. I mean, you spent 65 million on Dominic Solanke, and he has scored 1 goal for you. Not exactly work, does it? And if, for Man United, you bring Joshua Zirkzee in to score us goals. One goal, and that was against Fulham. What's happened since then? Brighton, Liverpool, Southampton, Barnsley, Palace, FC20. 6 games without a goal. We were meant to be solving that problem, and we haven't solved it. Why we didn't get Harry Kane the year we could have got him is an absolute shambolic disgrace. They could have got Osman on loan from Napoli. No, we're not doing that. Can't afford it. It just angers me. It frustrates me because realistically, if we fail to win on Sunday and we do lose, which is a huge possibility, then we are fighting relegation. We are in a relegation fight with Southampton and Ipswich and Everton and Wolves. The list goes on. We could be in a relegation fight to stay up in the Premier League because all of them will pick points up. All of them will get results. All of them will start getting wins eventually, and they'll start climbing up that table. And where you've got United is, all we're doing is drawing games. All we're doing is not winning. It's not hard to win. It's not difficult. And United are finding that tough. And it frustrates me because the team isn't playing well. The players aren't at the levels. And Ten Hag has got no excuse anymore, from the injuries to the amount of game time, due to the scheduling. Ten Hag's got nowhere to hide now. He's got nowhere to hide. And Ten Hag thinks, I can come up with an excuse. No, you can't. No, you can't. You can't. There's nowhere to hide anymore. You can't keep hiding, Eric. Like, you're going to get caught out eventually. And I think he is. I think he is getting massively caught out because he realises, well, what am I meant to do? Again, what really scares me is saying I'm not Harry Potter. I can't work magic. Well, how long is this going to take then to get United where to be? Because don't tell me 5 to 10 years' time when you're not here. Because United will fall even further behind the leaders. And again, they're all setting the pace. I mean, we're already 6 points off Man City. We're already so many off Arsenal and so many off Liverpool. Even Villa, Chelsea, all of them are above us, and we're on match day 6 already. I mean, if we don't get European football again and we finish 8th or 9th, then United are in big trouble again because they will then have to sack Ten Hag. So, for me, this has to be a no-brainer. This has to be a Manchester United win. They've got no option Sunday but to go and win that game. Because if they don't, I would sack Ten Hag on the spot. I would sack him straight after the game. I would sack him and get rid and just bring in a manager who's willing to take this club onto a new level. Because if Ten Hag ain't going to do it, we need to start looking now. And I think Ineos are going to be looking at it. I don't think Ineos are going to be sat there thinking, well, let's see what happens on Sunday. I think they already know what's going to happen. Tottenham are going to turn up and they're going to batter us. I fear Tottenham's attack because they've got better players than we have, and they're more hungry, and they've got the desire, and they're playing better football. Postecoglou's already making statements at Tottenham, and again, his second season's not been great so far, but at least he's got a style of play. At least you recognise what Tottenham are trying to do. Because Man United, I don't recognise it. I'm sorry, I don't. I don't recognise what we're trying to do. I don't understand the style of play. I don't understand our setup. I don't understand the changes we're making to the team. I can't stand all this rotation because it doesn't work. And again, Ten Hag is shooting himself in the foot here. So, again, for me, this is win or bust. This is win or bust against Tottenham. This is win or bust. Failure to win, he's sacked. He's got to go. But again, what do United do? Do they give it to Ruud, or they desperately get on their hands and knees and bring Thomas Tuchel in? And I don't know why so many people are against it. Thomas Tuchel's a better manager than Eric Ten Hag. Massively better. Plays better football, has a better style of play, and wins trophies, and is successful. So all I'm going to say is, let's see what happens Sunday. Scoreline wise, I'm going to go for 2-0 United, but that's me being optimistic. So let's see what happens. So I hope you enjoyed this live look ahead for match day 6 of the 24-25 Premier League season. Remember to hit the like button and share button. Please keep subscribing to the channel. United Red Devils 20 on YouTube. Share the video. Hit the tweet button. Hit the retweet button. Remember to always remember the notification bell. Put that bell on at all times so you receive dedicated content right throughout the rest of 2024 this year. In these last few months we have together, we've got brand new videos, shorts, and brand new live streams, brand new content. I want to get all of you more involved as well. Obviously, put that notification bell on at all times. Share the video, hit the tweet button, and retweet it. And like I said, you put that notification bell on, you'll see all this brand new content that we have got planned for these last few remaining months in 2024, heading into 2025. And obviously, please join me for the full-time whistle and the full-time reaction from Old Trafford on Sunday evening, which has to be a Manchester United win. For me, if we lose, Erik ten Hag has to go. If we win, Erik ten Hag might keep his job for one more week, but that's being me optimistic again. But let's see what happens. Stay safe, be nice, and be kind to each other. You're all legends. You're all legendary. See you on the next one.